Hi everyone, I'm presenting on Comic Life 3, an app made for iPhones, iPads, Macs, and Windows desktops. This is such a fun app I really enjoyed exploring it and getting to know it. Before I started, I wanted to let everyone know this is a subscription app, so you have to pay for it and it is quite pricey. They do give you a free 30-day trial, so you get to explore it and see if it's a good fit for you and your library. I wanted to show you the prices. Oops, first. Nope, not there. Product catalog. Um, so you can buy it individually for your class. Or you can buy a license for the school, for the whole school to have the program. It is expensive, so it's one of those that you have to work with your budget on this one. But I wanted to let you guys know the price before you fall too in love with it. So back to the front page, Comic Life 3 is an awesome app that lets your students create their own comic books and comic strips. What's really unique about this app is that it streamlines all of the comic book making process. You can take your pictures in the app, draw your pictures in the app, create your storyline or your dialogue in the app, and edit and do everything within this app. And it makes it so much easier than having to switch between other apps as before. So let's explore it a little bit. I love how much information they give you for just about everything. The site's awesome. They talk about some of the new updates, but they do provide you with templates to use in your comic book, so you don't have to draw everything. They give you pre-made templates that you can use that are pretty varied. It shows you where that you don't have to upload your script from a Word document or from somewhere else. You can create it right there within the app. And one really neat thing that I noticed is when you're making this comic book, it's your choice what you want to do. So you can draw everything from scratch. You can draw all your characters, all your animals, everything. Or you can take pictures of your friends, of yourself, of what's around you, and use that as your characters. So for example, here they're talking about all the filters and the graphics you can apply. You can take a regular picture as done right here and apply different graphics and filters to it. Apply graphics and filters to it to make it look like it's hand drawn, like an actual comic. It goes from here to here. So students can, change the background to mix it up a little bit, add the speech bubbles, make it look like it was drawn by hand, which is so cool. I have awful drawing skills, so I would definitely be using this option. So that shows the different features. There's templates, speech bubbles, all the different formatting, graphics, so many different fun things to explore and do. And it just shows you other ways that this is an original photograph and they changed it into a comic. So cool. So, and one great thing about this is that it does not just stay within the app. It can be created into a PDF, shared publicly, and printed out for students to keep their own work. So we're going to explore a little bit. I really like that it provided so much information about the educational side of it. I thought that was so important. It talks about, let's see, no, I want to go to this page. So as we talked about in our class many, many times, a lot of schools don't have the resources for every student to have their own laptop or own iPad. So it suggests that this app can be used as in a whole class setting. Students and teacher can work together and have a little role reversal and create their own class story or summarize their own plot lines using this comic book. It can be done in small groups or independently. And this is where it starts to give you some suggestions about how this can be used in different content areas. I definitely, as soon as I saw the app, I knew that it could be used for some great things, and I believe it can be used in all content areas. Here it talks about comic life and history, about how we can really, illustrate the important things we want our students to know rather than just having them copy lines and lines of notes. Here they have a picture of Napoleon and talking about they add speech bubbles to talk about things he's accomplished and events he was in. This is just one visual that students will help them actually understand and remember what we want them to. It's great for science because there's so many processes that they need to remember, and what better way than to spice it up and add illustrations and color. As we all know right now, graphic novels are a huge trend right now. They're only getting bigger. And so this these people who created this app, they really knew that, and they know how much kids are loving to read them, how much they love to interact with them. So they talked on their website how important it is and how beneficial comic books can be to reading and writing, and they list a bunch of ways that we can use comics in education and why it's important. So they really have this stuff to back it up. But I like some of their ideas here. Right here, they created an adjectives poster for students to think about it in a different way. Or right here, this student created a different type of research report. Instead of just writing the typical essay, he drew his own pictures and then created speech bubbles and text boxes to demonstrate his knowledge on the subject. So let's go back to Goes to School. And so I believe, and they said right about this, a picture is really worth 1,000 words. Looking around, I had so many ideas for its use. It can be used in history to retell famous events. Right here, it's talking about Nimabun's afterlife. We can have students maybe illustrate the Boston Tea Party, or the events that led up to the Civil War. There are so many great uses for this in history, science, math, every area. They used here to illustrate the Black Death, maybe the signs of it, day 1, day 2, day 3 with the Black Death. Not very pretty, but still informative, and kids will definitely remember a gross drawing like this when they're studying. As I was saying with science, there's so many different systems and processes they need to know. Photosynthesis, the setup of how DNA is constructed, the conduction system, all these visuals are so much more powerful than just lines of notes. So in your English classes, students can illustrate the storyline or key points of plot in the text that they've been reading in their classes. It can be used as a new way to do research reports. Students can write and draw biographies about famous scientists, mathematicians, historical figures such as Washington and Lincoln. And instead of doing a book trailer, students could create maybe a book comic and, tell some important, intriguing events about a book they've just read that leaves just enough suspense for the next reader to really want to actually check out the book they just drew a comic on. There's so many different ways this can be used in the classroom and in the library. I'm going to show you a little bit more around the website, though. It has support, tons of, if you have questions. And then the meanwhile area, they have more ideas about how to use this in the classroom, blog postings for students to catch up on. There's an area where teachers, the newsletter area for teachers, where I can't find it now, of course, but it's a newsletter teachers can sign up for to receive ideas. And then and it just talks about them. But all in all, I think this is a great app. It's perfect for reluctant readers and those who aren't big on reading, and the really creative kids who want to do more than just write that report. It's something different and fun and exciting for them. It would help them remember their information so much more. It's just an exciting way to show you what they know. I think even though it is quite pricey, I think it would be a good addition to any school that could afford this resource. And I think students would love to interact with comics in this way and, create information, not create information, create and really show us what they know. They're on that highest level of Bloom's taxonomy by creating and demonstrating for us what they've learned.